Today I'm going to show you how to factor a certain type of quadratic equation. You've probably seen an equation like this in your class. If you're taking Algebra 1 or Algebra 2, you have x squared and then plus a number with an x after it, with an x attached, like maybe 7x. And then at the end, you have just a number with no letter attached, maybe 12. And in these types of problems, you can also have minus or subtraction signs in here. But right now I'm just going to do a problem with just addition signs because it's the easiest to solve, or it's the simplest when all you have is just these addition signs. And then in order to factor this type of problem, you have to have it equal to 0 on the right side, which means you have nothing. You really have nothing on the right side. And now, let's see how we can factor this. Let's look at the numbers we have in here. We really have three numbers that we need to look at. X squared doesn't have a number in front of it, but we could put a 1 in front of it like this. And 1x squared really just means the same thing as x squared, because when you multiply something by 1, it doesn't change what it equals. So this really means 1 times x squared, and 1 times x squared just equals x squared. This first number that's in front of x squared is called the a number, so a is 1. The number that's in front of x in the middle of the left side is the b number, so b is 7. And the c number is the number you have at the end, so c is 12. And it's also important to keep track of the signs, because a, b, and c could be positive numbers or negative numbers, and all three of them are positive numbers in this problem because b has a plus sign in front of the 7, so it's positive 7. C has a plus sign in front of the 12, so C is positive 12. And A, which is the A number, which is 1, doesn't have any sign in front of it, which means it's still positive because you never really put a sign in front of the first number unless it's a negative number. So if we had a negative sign here, A would be negative 1. But if you don't have any sign at the beginning right there, then A is positive 1. And the first thing we need to do to be able to factor is we need to find two numbers. We need two numbers that multiply up to the C number. And they also need to be the same two numbers that add up to the B number. Hope you can see everything. So let's look at the possible numbers that multiply up to 12, because 12 is the C number. Well, we could use 2 times 6, because 2 times 6 is equal to 12. We could also use 1 times 12, because that equals 12 too. Let's put that up here. Hope you can see it up there. Yeah, you can see it. We could use 3 times 4. And you can, so let's look at all of these choices and see which one which one works. We know that the two numbers have to multiply up to 12. And we also know that they have to add up to 7. And these all multiply up to 12. And we know that 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. So we can already tell that 3 and 4 is what's going to work. 3 times 4 equals 12, which is the C number. And 3 plus 4 equals 7, which is the B number. And we've chosen positive 3 and positive 4 because sometimes you won't always pick positive numbers. Sometimes you'll pick one negative number and one positive number, or sometimes you'll pick two negative numbers. But when everything is positive in the problem up here, you don't have any subtraction signs, you're just going to pick two positive numbers. You don't have to worry about picking negative numbers. And since we have our numbers, I'm going to free up some space up here. And we know our two numbers are 3 and 4. So I should probably free up this space over here too. Now we're going to have a set of parentheses right here. And we're going to need another set of parentheses over here. And they're going to be back to back like this. And first we're going to have a slot that we need to fill in right here, and a slot that we need to fill in over here on the left side and the right side. And we're also going to need to fill in a slot right here and a slot right here. So what we're going to have here on the left side, and the left side over here, is the square root of what we have right here. Square root of x squared. I hope you can see my blue ink right there. The square root of x squared is going to go in this left space right here. And that's also going to go in this left space down here. Now, what is the square root of x squared? I'm ignoring the 1 because when people write out these problems, they usually don't write out the 1 in front of x squared. We just wrote out the 1 because we wanted to know what the a number equals. But I'll get rid of it for right now. And x, when you multiply something by itself, you're squaring the number. X, when you multiply x by itself, x times x, you get x squared. And the number that you're multiplying by itself is called the square root. So we're multiplying x times itself. So x is the square root of x squared. So let's put the square root on both sides here. Let's put the square root of x squared, which is x, here on the left side. And let's also put it over here on the other left side. And now we need to fill in the two numbers that we found earlier, the two numbers that multiply up to 12 and add up to 7, which were 3 and 4. So sometimes the order that you put them in will matter, but in this problem, it actually doesn't matter. So we can just put 3 over here and 4 over here. Or we could have put 4 over here and 3 over here. As long as everything is positive up here, and all you have is just the addition signs, then the order that you put them in doesn't matter. And we also need some signs in the middle. So what are we should we put an addition sign right here or a subtraction sign? Well, we had our number that we chose was positive 3. So since it was positive 3, we put a plus here. And we chose positive 4 when we picked our two numbers earlier. So since it's positive 4, we put a plus sign right here. And I forgot to put my other x right here. Sorry. This is the square root of x squared is x, and then the x fills in both of the left slots. So we have the square root of x squared going down here on this left side, and the square root of x squared going down here on this left side too. Then on the right sides, we fill in the two numbers we chose earlier, which were positive 3 and positive 4. And since they're both positive, we have a plus sign in front of the 3 and a plus sign in front of the 4. And you could also think of them as just being addition signs, but they also mean that the 3 is positive and the 4 is positive. And now we factored the left side of this problem, and the right side is still actually 0. And the amount that this equals, x squared plus 7x plus 12, on the left side, is the same amount that we have down here. It's the same amount that x plus 3 times x plus 4 equals. So when you factor the left side of the problem, you just change the way that it's written out, and you don't change the amount that it equals. And I hope this helps with factoring. And in my next video, I'll show you how to actually solve for x in this type of problem. Thank you.